This is going to be a realistic imitation of the Chironomid larva, showing the intestinal tract, prolegs, and C-tie. You can tie it in many colors and even down to a size 26. I have in my vise a TMC 2487 barbless hook. This one is a size 18. As you can see though, it is a size 2x short, so effectively it's a size 20, and a 2x wide has the gape of a size 16. We're going to make a light olive Chironomid larva, and we're going to do this by using a light olive thread. Now this is a size 16/0 from Venus. 14/0 for this size hook would also work if you've got that. We're going to start our fly an eyelet behind the eye, because I don't want to build up a lot of bulk behind the eye at this time. This is a pretty common technique, is holding the tag up and putting the thread over it and sliding it down to make sure you get touching turns. Now we want to cover the entire hook shank for the length of our fly so that it doesn't influence the color of our fly. And we're going to stop right about there. This fly will be about 7 millimeters long. At the end of the fly, there are some hairs or bristles known as the C-tie. Now we're going to make those using Antron, light olive in this case, but if you're using a different color thread, whatever matches your thread, take about, I'd say 10 fibers, bring it underneath the hook, bring it on top of the hook, and you can see we're cradling the hook here. Now this is a great way to add material to the fly without adding bulk around the hook shank. We're going to make another wrap here. We're going to pull it back. Then we're going to lock the location in place with a few wraps. Now you can see it wants to go into 2 pieces. You can remedy this by twisting the antron, making a couple of wraps around the antron, and you can move the antron towards you while you do this. Grab a hold, then make a wrap underneath the hook shank. And we'll make another wrap, 2 wraps, and it's all one happy piece of yarn. For our intestinal tract, we're going to take an extra small piece of black wire. Take a length about 2.5 inches. That'll make it easier for you to work with. Now this is a very fine wire. It's only 100 microns or 0.1 millimeters. So it actually will work as an intestinal tract on the smaller flies as well. So we want this on both sides of our hook. First, we're going to go underneath our thread and hook. Bring it up just like we did our C-tie. You can see it's on the top of the hook. And we're going to put it on this side and make a couple wraps around that. Now I have a shorter piece near the front and the longer piece towards the back. Now take the long wire that was near the rear and make a couple wraps around it, making sure it's on the other side of the hook shank. And you'll see that it's on this side and the one we first did is on the other side. I'm going to do a third wrap just to hold everything in place, making sure we got everybody back where they should be. Okay, it'll look just like that. So now pull this guy. Hanging on to the other side and make sure it gets pulled tight. Now it helps to have one wire longer than the other. That way you don't get mixed up on which wire goes on which side of the hook. So I cut the one closest to me shorter and the one furthest away just a little bit longer. That way I know as I wrap around, I don't get confused on which one goes where. Take a piece of clear microtubing. We're going to bring this underneath, like we have the others, and rest it on top. Make another wrap. And another wrap, and we're going to hold that in place. Do not cut off this tag, as we're going to use that for our posterior pro leg. What we have right now is wire, mylar, and wire. We are going to wrap our thread forward over our wire to make an intestinal tract that looks like it's internal to the larva. So let's pull this guy up out of our way. Our thread needs to be very flat at this point, and you do that again by twisting our bobbin counterclockwise, looking down from the hook onto the bobbin. We'll make a wrap, and we'll make a wrap. Make sure everything's in place, and we'll keep going forward. We'll keep tugging this one kind of up and the one on my side kind of down. Now it's okay if they kind of go up and down on the side. That makes it actually more natural than a straight intestine. Okay, let's cut those off. Got a pair of old scissors I use for clipping wire. Push those down and let's wrap over them and go towards the eye of our hook. And just hold everything in place with a half hitch. Take our long end of our tubing and we're going to go behind our tag of the tubing. We're going to pull our tag back. Now we're going to go in front of it. Stretch the tubing as you go, but not too tight as it will break on you. And work our way up with touching turns. Now the clear coat will not add color to it, so the larva will look very thin and natural to the fish. So we are right there, and we're going to tie that down. I'm going to do one more wrap. Everything's very tight here. Okay, we'll build up a little bit of a head. Remember the head, the abdomen, and the thorax are all the same diameter. That looks good. Let's finish it off. You can use a whip finish if you want. I'm going to use double half hitches. Now use a clear head cement so that it looks like the rest of the body. Now we're going to cut our C-tie. Now the C-tie isn't very long, but it is noticeable. About 1.5 millimeters. That one may be a little long. I'm going to go just a little bit more. Now we're going to trim our pro leg and stretch it a little bit and cut it. That's just a little bit long. That looks good. And then the other side. This one's a little long as well. Okay, that looks good as well.